The history of Turkey, understood as the history of the region now forming the territory of the Republic of Turkey, includes the history of both Anatolia, the Asian part of Turkey, and Eastern Thrace, the European part of Turkey. 4 times predating the Ottoman period, a distinction must be made between the history of the Turkish peoples and the history of the territories now forming the Republic of Turkey, essentially the histories of ancient Anatolia and Thrace. 1, 2. The name Turkey is derived from Middle Latin Turchia, that is the land of the Turks, historically referring to an entirely different territory of Eastern Europe and Central Asia, which fell under the control of Turkic peoples in the early medieval period. From the time when parts of what is now Turkey was conquered by Turks, the history of Turkey spans the medieval history of the Seljuk Empire, the medieval to modern history of the Ottoman Empire, and the history of the Republic of Turkey, since the 1920s. Anatolia. Further information. Prehistory of Anatolia, Ancient Anatolians, Hittite Empire, Syro-Hittite states, Median Empire, Achaemenid Empire, Macedonian Empire, Ancient regions of Anatolia, Kingdom of Pontus, Seleucid Empire, Byzantine Anatolia, and Ancient Near East. The ancient history of Anatolia Asia Minor can be roughly subdivided into 2: prehistory, Ancient Near East, Bronze Age and Early Iron Age. Classical Anatolia, Hellenistic Anatolia, with Byzantine Anatolia spanning the early medieval period to the age of the Crusades and the eventual Turkish Seljuk/Ottoman conquest of Anatolia by the 15th century. Incomprehensible. The earliest representations of culture in Anatolia were Stone Age artifacts. The remnants of Bronze Age civilizations such as the Hattian, Akkadian, Assyrian, and Hittite peoples provide us with many examples of the daily lives of its citizens and their trade. After the fall of the Hittites, the new states of Phrygia and Lydia stood strong on the western coast as Greek civilization began to flourish. They, and all the rest of Anatolia, were relatively soon after incorporated into the Achaemenid Persian Empire. As Persia grew in strength, their system of local government in Anatolia allowed many port cities to grow and to become wealthy. All of Anatolia got divided into various satrapies, ruled by satraps, governors appointed by the central Persian rulers. The first state, that was called Armenia, by neighboring peoples, was the state of the Armenian or Ontid dynasty, which included parts of eastern Turkey beginning in the 6th century BC, which became the satrapy of Armenia under Achaemenid rule. Some of the satraps revolted periodically, but did not pose a serious threat. In the 5th century BC, Darius I built the Royal Road, which linked the principal city of Susa with the West Anatolian city of Sardis. III Anatolia played a pivotal role in Achaemenid history. In the earliest 5th century BC, some of the Ionian cities under Persian rule revolted, which culminated into the Ionian Revolt. This revolt, after being easily suppressed by the Persian authority, laid the direct pled for the Greco-Persian Wars, which turned out to be one of the most crucial wars in European history. After Achaemenid Persian rule, the Greek Alexander the Great finally wrested control of the whole region from Persia in successive battles, proving victorious over the Persian Darius III. After Alexander's death, his conquests were split amongst several of his trusted generals, but were under constant threat of invasion from both the Gauls and other powerful rulers in Pergamon, Pontus, and Egypt. The Seleucid Empire, the largest of Alexander's territories, and which included Anatolia, became involved in a disastrous war with Rome, culminating in the battles of Thermopylae and Magnesia. The resulting Treaty of Apamea in 188 BC saw the Seleucids retreat from Anatolia. The Kingdom of Pergamum and the Republic of Rhodes, Rome's allies in the war, were granted the former Seleucid lands in Anatolia. Roman control of Anatolia was strengthened by a hands-off approach by Rome, allowing local control to govern effectively, and providing military protection. In the early 4th century, Constantine the Great established a new administrative center at Constantinople, and by the end of the 4th century the Roman Empire split into two parts, the eastern part Romania with Constantinople as its capital, referred to by historians as the Byzantine Empire from the original name, Byzantium IV,